Hi, how are you doing? This is Kim Reads Urantia. Glad you're here today. Okay, we're going to read from the Urantia book. First, we're going to read from Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. This is July 23rd. Okay. This is inspired by Shanti Deva. Andrew Harvey. It's by Andrew Harvey and inspired by Shanti Deva. Shanti Deva was a 8th century Indian philosopher, Buddhist monk, poet, and scholar. All right, so he wrote about the way of the bodhisattva, and I like the concept of a bodhisattva. I would like to be a bodhisattva. Okay. May I be lifted up into the wisdom of emptiness, and so make my giving to all beings perfect, and become like a water crystal jewel, destroying by irradiating darkness. So the light can shine through me, and I will disperse that light into all the corners of darkness. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to be. Okay, very good. Okay, this is a long one today. Paper 12, The Universe of Universes, and we're on section 8, Matter, Mind, and Spirit. So let's get to it, right? Okay. God is spirit, but paradise is not. The material universe is always the arena wherein take place all spiritual activities. Spirit beings and spirit ascenders live and work on physical spheres of material reality. The bestowal of cosmic force, the domain of cosmic gravity, is the function of the Isle of Paradise. All original force energy proceeds from paradise, and the matter of Okay, hold on. Oh, I'm gonna have to take that now. Okay. The bestowal of cosmic force, the domain of cosmic gravity, is the function of the Isle of Paradise. All original force energy proceeds from paradise, and the matter for the making of untold universes now circulates throughout the master universe in the form of a supergravity presence which constitutes the force charge of pervaded space. Whatever the transformations of force in the outlying universes, having gone out from paradise, it journeys on subject to the never-ending, ever-present, unfailing pull of the eternal isle, obediently and inherently swinging on forever around the eternal space paths of the universes. Physical energy is the one reality which is true and steadfast in its obedience to universal law. Only in the realms of creature volition has there been deviation from the divine paths and the original plans. Power and energy are the universal evidences of the stability, constancy, and eternity of the central Isle of Paradise. Okay, so this physical realm exists. It's rooted in the Isle of Paradise. I'm always, the people that say, oh, all of reality is just a figment of our imagination, our collective imagination, or something like that. And some of the new spiritual Gnostic ideas have to do with this. But there is physical reality. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's just not as important as we think it is. We're likely to think it is. It's just not as important as other aspects. It's not all that there is. But it's not that it doesn't exist. I always think that's silly when people say it doesn't exist. And I think true that physical aspects of physical reality reflect higher reality. Like a shadow is the form reflected by something else that's higher, or a reflection. Your reflection in the mirror isn't you, but it can tell a lot about you, a lot about what it's reflecting. So it works like that. Okay? So it's not that it doesn't exist. It exists. It's here. It's part of reality. It's just not all of reality. And it's probably not the most important aspect of reality. Okay. The bestowal of spirit and the spiritualization of personalities, the domain of spiritual gravity, is the realm of the eternal sun. And this spirit gravity of the sun, ever drawing all spiritual realities to himself, is just as real and absolute as is the all-powerful material grasp of the Isle of Paradise. But material-minded man is naturally more familiar with the material manifestations of a physical nature than with the equally real and mighty operations of a spiritual nature, which are discerned only by the spiritual insight of the soul. As the mind of any personality in the universe becomes more spiritual, godlike, it becomes less responsive to material gravity. Reality, measured by physical gravity response, is the antithesis of reality as determined by quality of spirit content. Physical gravity action is a quantitative determiner of non-spirit energy. Spiritual gravity action is the qualitative measure of the living energy of divinity. Okay, so physical gravity measures non-spirit energy. So I don't know, I just had this flash that, okay, so they can determine, because you can measure, it's easy to measure physical gravity. I think spiritual energy is probably less easy to measure. Of course, I don't know really. I don't know. I think so. I was thinking that they measure spiritual energy by the absence of physical energy and matter. It's just thought. Okay. I don't know if they're saying that or not. Probably not necessarily. Okay. What paradise is to the physical creation, and what the eternal sun is to the spiritual universe, the conjoint actor is to the realms of mind, the intelligent universe of material, moral, and spiritual beings and personalities. The conjoint actor reacts to both material and spiritual realities and therefore inherently becomes the universal minister to all intelligent beings, beings who may represent a union of both the material and spiritual phases of creation. The endowment of intelligence, the ministry to the material and the spiritual in the phenomenon of mind, is the exclusive domain of the conjoint actor, who thus becomes the partner of the spiritual mind, the essence of the Urantia mind, and the substance of the material mind of the evolutionary creatures of time. Okay? Mind is the technique whereby spirit realities become experiential to creature personalities. So mind is a technique. And in the last analysis, the unifying possibilities of even human mind, the ability to coordinate things, ideas, and values, is super material. All right. Okay, so all of these three gravity circuits. So there's 4 gravity circuits. All right, there's the physical gravity circuit, which is centered in the Isle of Paradise. There's the spiritual gravity circuit, which is centered in the sun, the eternal sun, and the mind gravity circuit, which is centered in the conjoint actor. And then the Father's is the personality circuit, whereby he bestows personality, beingness, awareness of our own being, okay, upon us. Okay? Nose itches. Okay. So we measure spirit gravity is like I don't know, I think of it as like passion and this desire to be connected with something larger than yourself. So a desire to belong to something, right? Because I think of that little piece of yang that's out in the yin, and he's trying to get back to the Father. So it's a desire it's a desire for God, or a desire to be more than what we are. It's the best way I can describe it. So everyone that has this desire to be connected, okay, is part of that circuit. All right? Yeah. In the spirit, or the mind is about relationships and building that path, making that plan, and coming together, bringing those two things together. So God creates this desire to be with God through the eternal Son, and then fulfills that desire through the Spirit, through the infinite Spirit. It's interesting always that the Spirit is it's called the infinite Spirit, but that's the realm of mind, whether the eternal Son is the realm of spirit. Okay? And that's always interesting to me, and I don't have but somehow I think those things play together. They have to play together in that, and that the spirit is created through the Son and fulfilled through the Spirit. So then it's fulfilled, and then it's created again, and then fulfilled, something like that. So in this whole cycle of this desire and fulfillment of desire is created by the Father. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here then. Though it is hardly possible for the mortal mind to comprehend. Wait, did I skip this one? Wait, I'm going to go back. Right. Mind is the technique. Yeah, no, I read that. Of whereby spirit realities become existential to creature personalities, and in the last analysis, the unifying possibilities of human mind, the ability to coordinate things, ideas, and values is supermaterial. Okay. Though it is hardly possible for the mortal mind to comprehend the 7 levels of relative cosmic reality, the human intellect should be able to grasp much of the meaning of 3 functioning levels of finite reality. 1. Matter, organized energy which is subject to linear gravity except as it is modified by motion and conditioned by mind. Okay. 2. Mind, organized consciousness, which is not wholly subject to material gravity and which becomes truly liberated when modified by spirit. Spirit liberates our minds and fulfills that desire, the desire of our minds. Or is it mind that fulfills the desire of the spirits? I don't know. Okay, spirit, the highest personal reality. True spirit is not subject to physical gravity, but eventually becomes the motivating influence in all evolving energy systems of personality dignity. So that's about motivation, it's about passion, it's about wanting to be more, wanting it to be better, trying to make everything better. Okay? The goal of existence of all personalities is spirit. Material manifestations are relative, and the cosmic mind intervenes between these universal opposites. The bestowal of mind and the ministration of spirit are the work of the associate persons of deity, the infinite spirit and the eternal Son. Total deity reality is not mind, but spirit mind. Spirit mind. Mind, spirit unified by personality. Nevertheless, the absolutes of both the spirit and the thing converge in the person of the universal Father. The absolutes of both the spirit and the thing, the spirit and the thing that we're desiring, something. Okay. On paradise, the 3 energies, physical, mindal, and spiritual, are coordinate. In the evolutionary cosmos, energy matter is dominant, except in personality, where spirit, through the mediation of mind, is striving for the mastery. Spirit is the fundamental reality of the personality experience of all creatures, because God is spirit. God wasn't okay just being by God's self. God wanted more. God wanted more. God wanted to be seen and heard and understood. God wanted more than just God's self. God is spirit. Spirit is unchanging, and therefore, in all personality relations, it transcends both mind and matter, which are experiential variables of progressive attainment. In cosmic evolution, matter becomes a philosophic shadow cast by mind in the presence of spirit luminosity of divine enlightenment. But this does not invalidate the reality of matter energy. Mind, matter, and spirit are equally real, but they are not of equal value to personality in the attainment of divinity. Consciousness of divinity is a progressive spiritual experience. Yep, consciousness of divinity is not always apparent to everybody. It's a part of a progressive spiritual experience. Right. They're all equally real, but they are not of equal value to personality in the attainment of divinity. I think probably to early stages of progression, matter is most important, then mind, and then spirit, right? I think. The brighter the shining of the spiritualized personality, the Father in the universe, the fragment of potential spirit personality in the individual creature, the greater the shadow cast by the intervening mind upon its material investment. Okay. So remember we talked about shadows. I was talking about shadows, right? So the spiritualized personality is very bright. That's the light that shines. The Father in the universe, the fragment of potential spirit personality in the individual creature. So the greater spiritual potential that an individual has, the greater the shadow is cast. So by the mind upon the material investment. Okay, so there's a bright light and the shadow is cast by the mind upon the material investment. In time, man's body is just as real as mind or spirit, but in death, both mind, the identity, and spirit survive while the body does not. A cosmic reality can be non-existent in personality experience. A cosmic reality, like a physical reality, can be non-existent in personality experience. And so your Greek figure of speech, the material as the shadow of the more real spirit substance, does have a philosophic significance. Okay, so somehow if we have a bright light, then that shadow is bigger, more dangerous, and the mind will choose what to invest in, to what extent we're investing in physical. Temptation, I'm thinking about temptation of the mind, is greater when the spiritual potential is greater. Because it's the mind that chooses where to invest. Right? So the higher the spiritual potential, the higher the temptation. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. That's absolutely perfect. And thank you very much again for being with me today. And God bless and keep all of you. Bye.